This is the goldfish. It's famous for exactly one thing, and it isn't the color. The goldfish is supposed to have a 3-second memory. It swims around the bowl, and by the time it gets back to where it started, the whole trip is gone. The one fact everyone repeats about the goldfish is that it can't remember being a goldfish. None of that is true. The real goldfish is far smarter and far stranger than the one in the bowl. Let's start with the number, because nobody ever actually measured it. There's no study, no scientist, no lab that ever clocked a goldfish at 3 seconds. The number just gets passed around, and it isn't even always 3. Some people say 5, some say 7. A real measurement doesn't wander around like that. A rumor does. So somebody finally tested it on camera. Back in 2004, a TV crew trained goldfish to run a little underwater obstacle course, swim to the right color through a gap around a post. Then they left the fish alone for a whole month. The goldfish came back and ran the course again from memory. The 3-second animal remembered that course for 30 days. And honestly, that's the low end of it. In one experiment at Plymouth, researchers put a lever in the tank that only dropped food during a single hour of the day. The goldfish learned the schedule. It started turning up at the lever early and waiting, like an office worker at the coffee machine at 8:59. They switched the lever off, and the fish kept showing up for days. It even learns to tell the person who feeds it from a stranger and swims over when the right one walks in. Now, the whole excuse for the myth was always the goldfish's brain. Too small, supposedly, to hold on to anything. Except a goldfish doesn't keep its memories where you keep yours. You use a part called the hippocampus. The goldfish does the same job with a different part of its brain, and if you damage that part, the fish gets lost in a maze exactly the way you would. So the goldfish clearly remembers. The only question left is how far that memory goes. Surprisingly, it goes pretty far. You can teach a goldfish that 2 dots and 4 dots are different amounts, and it gets it right about 9 times out of 10. You can train it to tell 2 pieces of music apart, Bach on one side and Stravinsky on the other, and it picks the right one for a snack. It's a fish, quietly doing arithmetic. And every bit of that happened underwater. Then, in 2022, a lab in Israel decided to test whether a goldfish could find its way somewhere it has no business being, on dry land.
What?
They built a small cart on wheels, set a water tank on top, and rigged a camera to read which way the fish was pointing and roll the cart that way. They gave a goldfish a car, and the goldfish learned to drive it. It steered the tank across the room to a target for a treat, still found the target when they moved it, and ignored the wrong ones. A fish passed a driving test on land. The body is just as tough as the brain is smart. Seal a goldfish under a frozen pond with no oxygen for months, and it just doesn't die. It switches its own chemistry over to making alcohol, and breathes the alcohol out through its gills, drunk past the legal limit, all winter long. And the bowl hides the rest. Out in a real pond, a goldfish never stops growing. It turns into an orange football, a foot long and a few pounds. It keeps living too. One pet goldfish named Tish made it to 43 years old. Which is where that 3-second memory starts to look strange. An animal that remembers for months, drives a cart, and can live past 40 is not the animal in the story we tell. The people who study fish memory think they know why the myth won't die. And it has nothing to do with the fish. A goldfish that forgets the world every 3 seconds is a goldfish you can keep in a bowl the size of its own head and never feel bad about it. The tiny memory was always our permission slip to keep it in a bowl and call that a life. The goldfish in the bowl, the one that quietly dies in a year or two, didn't die of old age. It was kept small and mostly forgotten. But it remembered feeding time. It remembered the person who fed it. It remembered the whole way around the bowl. If a small animal quietly pulling off something impossible is your thing, the wombat somehow packs its poop into neat little cubes, and that video is already up on the channel. Go give it a watch and subscribe while you're here.